Hello there, I'm RTGamer7, and welcome to the channel. We are continuing on with some more of the D&D Mansion speed build. If you watched all the way to the end of the last one, and as I will start talking about it partially through this one, I did actually end up messing up a little bit on the voiceover, so there's going to be a little cut. But thank you for coming and watching the video. It's going to go cut to me actually talking to my previous voiceover, but I wanted to at least make a little intro, so yeah, thank you for watching. But let's continue on talking about the video now. With this room and some of the other rooms coming up, you'll start seeing that they are shrinking in size. Obviously, like I've mentioned in the past, some of these rooms are purposely meant to be bigger, and there's a lot of decisions that I put in when these characters, like I try to put my mind in the state of that character. Why would they choose that room? So some characters are purposely going to try to go into the basement because they don't necessarily care about the sun. They don't care about being up in the daylight, being outside. Other characters, they want that outside. They want that sunlight, so they're going to choose a room that's up towards the top, so on and so forth. Maybe they're trying to stick close to friends or something. In the case of this character, they actually are trying to stick close to someone, so this is Takashi's room. He is someone that I don't think he would necessarily 100% care where his room was, in all honesty, if it like solely was up to him and there was like, he was not told who else was going to be in this house. It was just like, hey, go pick your room. None of them's been picked. Part of me's like, he probably wouldn't spend a whole lot of time looking. Obviously, the main floor, if you've been sticking with this build, there's no bedrooms on it. But that being said, whether he found the basement stairs or the stairs leading to upstairs first would probably depend on where he went. He might gravitate towards the basement a little bit more than the upstairs, but if he ended up finding the upstairs stairs first, then he would have went up them and just chose one of the first rooms he found. That's just my whole thought process. I don't think he necessarily fully cares. But there is a character who is technically his girlfriend, Valencia, who has already got to choose a room. So I definitely, once it got to his turn to pick a room, in quotations, I definitely wanted to try to make sure that he got a room close to hers if it was still available, because again, I am treating this like a first come, first serve. There's a reason why they're selecting these rooms. They don't fully know who's got what room, except for probably close friends. You know, they probably see their friends there, like, oh, hey, you already picked that room? I'm going to pick this room right down the hallway then. That sort of situation, and since Valencia got to pick a room already, you know, she's probably standing near the doorway, or, you know, he coming in trying to figure out where her room's at, and he would try to pick a room close to hers, which I think this one actually is pretty close. But it is obviously one of the smaller rooms. It's getting down to the point where the rooms are slowly getting smaller, because characters got first dibs on some of the bigger rooms, except for some who chose to have a bathroom compared to a room that technically was a little bit bigger, which I don't blame them. If I could choose to have a personal bathroom, I'm probably going to go to that room first. I'd probably try to figure out the biggest room with a personal bathroom. But if there was only like one room that had a bathroom attached onto it, but then there were several rooms that were like bigger in size, probably going to choose the bathroom, just personally. I am also just sort of a slightly modest person, so I don't, if I have to, I have to, but if I don't have to share a bathroom, I'd rather not. So, yeah, that's just me personally, but obviously there's very few rooms that actually have a bathroom attached to them, so the lucky few that got the bathrooms, good on y'all. But also there are some characters that I definitely know wouldn't have cared about the whole bathroom situation either, so they chose the bigger room versus having the bathroom. But yeah, with his room, it is a lot of just sort of dark lighting and situation for his room. It's darker colors, because, and like, I didn't put like necessarily a whole lot of decor. Again, I just don't imagine him being the person who really tries. I wouldn't be surprised if some of this Valencia helped him, like, oh, do you want to have some pillows on your bed? Do I have to? Yeah. Well, you don't have to, but it's nice. Okay, just pick me up some. Like something like, I really don't think he would care too much, but yeah. Also, it is partially a good thing because if you know the backstory with Takashi and another character named Shamira, they technically are related, but he does not like Shamira. Shamira doesn't really fully know of his existence, though, so, you know. But she's downstairs, so they don't have to run into each other too much, hopefully. But maybe they will, and that's where part of the drama will come from. We'll see what happens. I'm so hoping that something interesting happens in this mini-series, and I'm not gonna lie to you, because I will say, compared to, like, Sims 2 especially, Sims 4, I don't think has the personality and the reactions to Sims doing stuff. Like, Sims cheating on each other in The Sims 2 versus The Sims 4 hits totally different. Totally different. And it makes me sad that it doesn't hit the same as Sims 2. Sims 2, I feel like they just had... The graphics wasn't there, and, like, there wasn't necessarily quite as much, like... I don't know, I think Sims 2 still is the superior one overall. I definitely like the graphics of The Sims 4 a lot better, obviously. There is a lot of features that ultimately in the end I like Sims 4 better. I think the main thing with Sims 2 though is the personality thing. I think The Sims have a lot more personality in The Sims 2 than The Sims 4. But overall, I still probably would rather try to full The Sims 4 over Sims 2. Granted, I haven't given it a try. I haven't tried to download Sims 2 on my computers and run them again and see how it goes. But anyway, maybe one day I'll eventually try that. But right now, we're talking about this right now. But yeah, I'm so hoping... I have high hopes, basically, for this reality show thing going on. Because, like I said, I'm going to try not to do much controlling at all. I'm just going to make sure, you know, the cat's fed. If someone gets stuck, I'll help them. Because, who knows, sometimes Sims are real dumb. And they be getting stuck behind stairs or a wall. And you just don't know how in the world they got there. But they got there somehow. But yeah, I'm doing a minimal... controlling of the Sims as possible, and we're just going to be treating it like we're the camera crew and we're watching what unfolds. And I am so hoping that, you know, with what mods I do have and the fact that there is so many Sims in this household, that something is going to happen. We can hope. We can all hope. But anyway, Takashi's room's already finished by now because this whole rant about personalities going on here. And we are now on to Agatha's room. You also may notice that I'm able to fit more characters' rooms in a video. Oddly enough, I've already got the... Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be honest about this. I've completely messed myself up. And it's gonna be real interesting editing this voiceover because I technically I went through and processed a bunch of videos for the D&D mansion, and the way I edit them, sometimes I'll just put a bunch of the different rooms together, and, like, you know, I do one big giant recording session, I'll edit the dead spaces and stuff like that, and I'll make one big video, and I'll save it out, and then I'll put it back in, and I'll, like, cut it up into sections, and each section is supposed to be a video. And I was just enjoying talking so much, I guess, that I didn't pay attention to the fact that I have already went past the cutoff point for technically the video that I was recording this voiceover for. Technically, this is the second video that I was going to do a voiceover for today. Well, after I did the first voiceover for the series. So, obviously, this one is going to, it is going to be cut a little weird. Obviously, I'm probably not going to have my intro, or I'm going to make a really quick intro. At the end here, I don't know, we'll see what happens, but, you know, if you getting to this point and was like, man, there's a really weird cut at the beginning, or that seemed really odd at the beginning, there's a reason. I'm not paying attention, obviously. I'm just watching the video and keeping up with it, but did not pay attention to my little splice section. I guess I looked away right at that moment because, like, I put, like, a little blank black video in between them as a visual signal because I get distracted easy all the time. So, but obviously I got too distracted to the point that I didn't even see the cut for the video that was supposed to signify, hey, stop talking now. It's supposed to be the second one starting. My bad. And I was just about to say, like, look how many rooms I'm getting into one video. Technically I only got 3 in the last one, and this one is also only gonna have 3, maybe 4. I don't remember how many people are after Agatha's room here. But yeah, okay, well, at least I got this voiceover also going. Well, let's just continue on. This is Agatha's room. So Agatha's room here definitely was interesting, and it was honestly quite fun to do, but it was definitely like out of like my personal style, which is sort of what's fun about some of these, like sometimes when you do speed builds or you're making like characters that are not like yourself or whatever, and then you try to make a room for them. That's sort of what's fun, is like getting to decorate a room that you may not personally ever do, but you still might enjoy decorating it. Like, I really enjoyed decorating Agatha's room. There is a lot of pastels, there's a lot of color going on, there's a lot of textures going on, a lot of everything going on, in all honesty, and there's not much blacks or grays. I mean, technically, I don't think there's any blacks or grays at all, except for maybe, like, little details that you can barely see, like, you know, like the little poof balls that are on her bed. There might be there might be some that are there that are gray, technically. And then, obviously, like, some of the metal on the chairs and things like that, and the tables, but those are, like, little things that you fully can't control unless you go in and, like, even in real life, like, if you buy a certain type of table, obviously there's going to be hardware on it. Unless they purposely try to paint it to match the table, which, depending on the setting and what style you're going for, sometimes they don't do that because they're trying to make it still look industrial, or it's a work table and they don't partially care. So yeah, but anyway, I'm definitely someone who uses a lot of black and basically everywhere. Like, our couch it's not black, but it's very, very dark gray. We just bought a new coffee table that is gray, dark gray and black. The tables are dark gray in the living room. Technically, the fireplace, which obviously came with the house, so I had no choice over it. It's like dark grays and blacks and like those darker colors, which I like. We have shelves in there that are black. So, yeah, me and Agatha's rooms would not mesh well together, but that doesn't mean that we couldn't be friends. But I honestly, like I said, I loved how this room it was a lot different. I have so much stuff, like, I just hanged around her room. Like, she's got these little potted plants, and she's got these little stars, she's got little rose petals on her floor, because why not? Like, she just had fun with her room. Obviously, the rooms are, like I was just mentioning with Takashi's room, they are starting to get smaller and smaller, but that did not hinder Agatha here. She decorated to the max. She had pops of color everywhere. She had things that were, like, all soft and girly and bubbly and all over the place. She, at one point, if you know her character, she was, at one point, sort of in a dark place in her life, and she got herself out of that, and I think, in some ways, she goes a little bit crazy with some of that design of, like, hey, I don't want to get back into that dark space again, so I'm going to constantly fill my rooms, anywhere I'm at, with happiness. So she's just got things everywhere. But I also want to imagine, because she is slightly crafty, that sometimes she just makes things or holds on to things. Like, I can make something with that. I can do something with that. That could be cute if I do this. And so it's a jumble of things in here, but I just want, I want to imagine, like, no matter where she goes, that's just how it's going to be. Like, she's only had, technically, if you're treating this like we're going to be treating it like a reality show, obviously she just got a few days to come in and decorate it. And then, you know, she's probably slowly adding a few things here and there as time goes on, but she's only been in this room probably for a week for the decoration process, and she's already got all this stuff all over the place. So, you know, she's just like, everything, everywhere. But I had a lot of fun with hers. just putting like colors all over the place, trying to put plants into like all over the place, because she is sort of a naturey person also. So, you know, she's not going to be overwhelmed with plants like Forsythia's room, but she still wants a little bit of the outdoors in. She likes the plants, she likes the flowers. So, you know, she brings in some. Obviously, you know, she's getting more on the succulent side, but I think there's a few reasons why she would do that. I think, one, succulents are a little bit easier to take care of, especially in an inside setting, because they can tolerate usually not being in the sun as much, and they're a little bit better houseplants than some other plants out there are. Some of them, they definitely need to be outside, or you need to have special care when dealing with them indoors. But also, succulents also come in a lot more variety of colors than a lot of other plants typically do. So yeah, I think she would just be like, succulents. Great idea. Perfect. But yeah, that was Agatha's room. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below on her room. And now, we are going to be going into the opposite setting of Agatha's room now. So, you know, all that happy, bright, lovey, girly, all over the place colors, yeah, get that out of your brain. That's not happening here. We are now creating Arietta's room. Arietta, she luckily got to have a room right next to her best friend, Ivar, over there. So, you know, she's already going to be excited about that. But there is one thing her and Agatha, I think, do have in common. I think they went out and got the decorations. They went all out. She got stuff to decorate her room, and she got a lot of it. But obviously the color scheme, a lot more different. I will say, if I had to choose in between Agatha's room and Arietta's room to stay in, probably going to choose Arietta's room. But at the same time, Arietta's room's almost taking the whole black thing too much even for me. Like, if I can have a mix in between the two, that's probably, like, a mix, but slightly leaning a little bit more towards Arietta's. That's me. Because Arietta takes it a little bit further than I would, because it is very dark in this room, but at the same time, I love that. Especially for a bedroom, honestly. Like, if I'm gonna have a bright room, I would rather it not be the bedroom, because, like, if you go into, maybe eventually I'll do, like, a tour of my house. The house is not completely ready for a tour of the house. The living room and, like, most of the upstairs is okay and mostly good to go. Granted, the art room right now is in a tragic state because of doing stuff for the wedding. Granted, it's also an art room, so if your art room's not in a tragic state most of the time, then obviously you're not using it. But that being said, I do really need to straighten up in there. But my art room definitely has more colors and more liveliness going on in it than, like, some of the other rooms. But that being said, if it comes to a bedroom, I would rather the bedroom be a little bit on the darker side, because it feels a little bit more calmer to me. It also just may be the whole thing of, like, you know, you need to have more of a dark setting for, like, the melatonin to kick in and all that stuff. Though I sleep with the TV on. Well, we do. And we're both okay with that, because it provides, like, a little bit of light, and it also provides a little bit of noise so that it's not plain silence. I cannot stand plain silence. Like, I know some people love to hear nothing, and obviously there is points at times that I'm like, I would almost take the silence over what I am hearing at the time. But even in those situations, I can only take silence for so much. Like, at what is now my old job, which was retail, I usually tuned out the music for most of the day, but most of the music that played in that store was not the type of music I listened to. There was, like, 2 songs on the whole entire well, towards the end, there was a 3rd song that popped on there. 3 songs out of, like, I mean, it was a decent amount. Some songs didn't play nearly as often. There were some songs that played almost every single day. And then there's other songs that only play, like, once a week. But in a grand total, I could easily say there's probably 30 to 40 different songs throughout the course of a week that play. I liked 3 of them. I could tolerate some of them, but most of them I did not like. And I tuned them out as best I could. So when it came to closing time, that was the first thing I did. I turned off that music. As soon as it turned, even if there's still customers in the store, as soon as it turned closing time, if I turned that music off, one, it's closing time. So it's a signal you should be getting out of my store. Two, I was tired of the music. No more. No more. But as soon as, like, the customer, if there was customers in there, as soon as they leave, I would turn on my own music. So, like, I still didn't have silence, but I just didn't have that irritating noise that was constantly playing throughout the day. But anyway, yeah, I don't like silence. I don't like it being completely quiet. I like to have some background noise. Even when I'm editing my videos, a lot of times I still have the TV going. Like, obviously, I'm editing my videos, so I'm listening to my voice, I'm listening to the game, making sure that the audio's hopefully working and the audio's doing what it's supposed to, but I also have the TV on. Because just for those few moments of when I pause or, like, I take a break, I want there to still be sound. So, yeah, I don't like silence. So, yeah, we have the TV on. I get on these weird tangents. Like, I was like, how did I even get to this? It was because I was talking about bedrooms and being dark, and I would rather them be dark than light, even though I sleep with the TV on. Anyway, so yeah, I think it's a lot more calming, a lot more relaxing to have a darker room if you're going to relax in. And maybe that's also why we sort of got the living room a little bit more darker, because technically we sometimes nap in the living room where we just relax to watch TV. Also, you know, stains don't show up on it as much, so that's also a thing. So, and me being the clumsy person I am, I tend to spill things. Granted, I haven't spilt anything on the couch yet, or on the rug in the living room. I'm really surprised. I've done pretty good since I've moved into this house. I don't think I've spilled but one thing, and it was in the kitchen, which is a place where spills commonly happen, no matter what you're doing. So, feel pretty proud of myself here. But anyway, back into Arya's room. So as you see, I had a lot of decorations. Granted, part of the reason why I had so many decorations is, so the TSR, custom content site started doing, like, these theme things. They do some that are meant to be, like, big themes, and then they do a few that are, like, small. Like, recently they had, like, a K-pop one that had a very small group of creators making content for it, but then they have, like, some of these big themes where, like, a bunch of content creators chip in and make CC specifically for that theme. And right before I made Arietta's, there was a steampunk one, and there was a oh my goth one. And then there was also, I want to say something else, like another small one that all had, like, this similar, like, feel to it. And I went crazy with it. Plus, I already had some stuff that sort of fit in those themes. So yeah, but I had a lot of stuff that I hadn't got to use yet in any of the builds, really. And downloaded it, and now I got to Arya's room, and I was like, oh, look at all this stuff that definitely fits her personality. So yeah, her room is decorated to the max. I had extra shelves on the walls to fit everything. Granted, then I wanted the shelves to be symmetrical, and so, you know, I think I ended up getting a few more items here and there just to add on to the shelves. Don't worry that she has knives. It's fine. Just don't worry about that. Everyone keeps knives in their bedroom, right? Arietta's definitely an interesting character. Definitely not someone you want to get on their bad side. Just forewarned. But yeah, I really do like how her room turned out, and her room's going to be the end of this video. So definitely let me know your thoughts down in the comments below on Arietta's room and everyone else's. Obviously, I didn't get to do, like, an end thing for the last video, and also there's probably a weird cut at the very beginning of this one, but we're gonna ignore that. We're gonna go past it. But anyway, me just not paying attention, which is a common thing to happen. It's normal. It's fine. I'm fine. Mostly. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, please hit that lovely like button. Make sure you're subscribed to see future content and such, and I hopefully will get to see you in the next one. But until then, bye bye!